Hi everyone, welcome back. So this month's four-way project is proposition from Sam, and it's a chessboard like figures, pieces. And the idea is to make a few of those. We don't have to make the entire set. I maybe played once or twice back in the high school just for fun. Never got the need or the opportunity or the orders to make the sets, so this should be quite fun and interesting. And now a little fun fact, many of you probably know or heard about Dubrovnik. It's quite known or popular city here in Croatia, probably best known for tourism and stuff like a Game of Thrones were actually filmed there. And now one of the top 5 chessboard sets were actually called a Dubrovnik set, and I believe in 1950s there were a tournament here. So that's a little fun fact. So what I'll try to do with my set is veer away from the classic forms like Dubrovnik set. So I'll try to make a simple form shapes, but still sort of recognizable to the more experienced players, let's say. Like I said, it should be fun. I always like and up for a challenge, so it should be nice little turning. So let me reposition the camera and we'll set off. Okay, so what I have here is just a rough SketchUp of what I'll try to do. So this is quite simplified, let's say. So all of the pieces will have the same detail. So the foot and a little like step in, a little groove. And you see how I mark that and to make on all pieces the same. Now the idea is to make all 6 of these, but I'll see how it goes and how much time I have. However, the darker ones will be walnut, black walnut, and the lighter ones will be maple. And I have oils that shouldn't yellow the white color of the maple, and I have the oil that accentuates pretty much actually any oil accentuates the color of the walnut, but I want to have the biggest sort of a contrast between the two. So my first ever turned chest piece, and this is the pawn. And what I found out from this, so this is like a test piece, is the 35mm diameter which I went for, so it fits the shark jaws here, so I don't have to make the wooden collar. However, I'll show that how you can make that in a separate video. However, I went for 35mm diameter, so it will fit on this chuck. But it seems just too bulky here, and it's like it gained weight during holidays, like during Christmas time. So I want to reduce the diameter a little bit and go from there. And this is not like set in stone, so I'll probably adapt on the way as well. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Should be quite interesting. I'll start out with the pawn, the smaller pieces, and with the maple blank. So this will just go into the dovetail part here of the jaws. So I have the length here to play with. So just try to center it as best I can. Doesn't have to be exact, since I have still the diameter to shrink it down. You can use the tailstock to center it, so this will be okay. Open it up, bring the tool rest, and so the speed here will be around 2000 and 2300 RPM. So it's not super fast, but this is just tiny little piece of wood, so you can go a little faster, slower, whatever makes you comfortable. So again, I want to reduce the diameter a little bit, and I have a caliper set here, so all of the pieces will be the same. So this is a little bit smaller, so I can reduce or adjust, let's say. So that's it. Okay, and true up the end grain here. like so, a little hole in the center. There we go. So for the pawn, my guess is you want to have sort of a head like this, so it's much easier to grab. So what I'll do is actually, let's go for diameter sort of like this somewhere. So I'll transfer that diameter as a length here, like so, and just thin this down. Like so, and now this will have obviously a big taper, so all of this is now waste wood. So I'll just go down like so, so I can make the bead much easier. So you make the entry cut here and just drop the rest a little bit, so it's much more comfortable for me. And I don't want to make it way too thin at the neck here. So that's a little weird looking head, but just a little tweak here. Like so. You are now basically what I'm seeing. Now the pawn, the height of it, I reckon it's 50 mil or around 2 inches should be okay. So that's around there. And I have this parting tool. It's not the narrowest one, but I've modified it over the years. It's a really crappy tool. This one is, I believe, carbon steel, and it's from my father-in-law. And again, it's not something that I would recommend, but I have to adapt when I started out with limited tools that I had access to, let's say. But for this occasion should be quite okay. So I'll just go slightly above the line and make a sort of a 2-3 mil deep groove. And so this is my bottom, and I'll go one width of the parting tool and then mark just with the corner lightly. I hope you can see that a little scribe line there. And from that point I can make a little groove, maybe 1 mil, mil and a half, don't need much. So that's the detail that every pawn, not every pawn, but every figure will have. So now all that it's left is from this point here, maybe let's say leave 1 mil flat or flat-ish. When we sand it will sort of blend in, and just from this line to the neck there, just make a nice straight line. You can use a spindle gouge. I like to use skew, so again you can, like I said, you can use a spindle gouge if it's easier for you, or skew, but just be aware the starting point here, because you don't have much of the sort of a rest here, it wants to skate back, so you have to be aware of that. You'll probably see the skate. And as you move down, you have to raise the handle to sort of adapt for the smaller diameter down there. And here at the very end you drop actually the handle and invite the short point to finish the cut on the neck here, but still have a little bit more. And yeah, that's nice straight line. And you can use shavings, you can use this is, I believe, 600 Scotch-Brite pad, just to polish it up a little bit. Or you can use shavings. Pretty much does the same job. Shavings maybe polish it up a little nicer, as you can see. Let's see the surface. Yeah, so that's super nice. And I'll actually start the parting off process now. Widen the curve a little bit. And I'll flatten the bottoms after on a belt sander or something like that. So that's okay for now, and like I said, I'll apply the oil, and let me just grab it. So for the oil, I'm going to use this one for the maple, for the light colored wood. This is from Steiner. It's a white oil, and it doesn't change or doesn't yellow it as nearly as much as like standard oil, which I'll use for the walnut. And I'll just apply this on the lathe as it's spinning. So you can see, really doesn't change much in terms of color. And get in the groove as well. Just polish this up. Let the heat of the lathe sort of start the polymerization of the oil. There we go. Okay, here. There we go. So that's really nice color in the maple, and like I said, it's not yellow, it's the original color of the maple, so that's why I really started to like this white oil. So I'll set this aside and we'll move on. Again, skew, just to bring down the diameter a little bit, and I have the veneer calipers here just to double check. So here where the rub mark is, that's my diameter, and around 55-56 mil I'll go for the rock, the total length, and I'll just start here so I have a visual where it ends. Again, it will be sort of a taper, and we need here for the, let's say, the castle part, for the lack of the better word. So again, I'll go maybe a third for now at least, and I'll adapt this as I go on. So I think that might be okay, maybe too small. Okay, I'll leave it as it is now, and I can remove this bulk here, and we'll have to taper this portion here as well. And start to taper this end. I can get this clean and make a separation line for that fuzzy grain. What I want here at the top is hollow this out just a little bit. So I'll use a spindle gouge and need to cut sort of for the tower, you know, the like square sections. So I'll do that with the handsaw, and just want to mark this first. So I have index in position, and I'll go to, let's say, 1 first. Lock the spindle, and I'll use the tool rest, bring it up, and keep it flat. And I want to go through the center of the spindle here, and I lock the position of the spindle at number 1. So just keep it flat, just go lightly. Doesn't have to be very deep. Just want to make it so it's symmetrical. So this is the finer saw that I have, finest saw that I have. So unlock the spindle and move it so we have the 90 degrees. So that will be position number 10 on the indexing. So again, keep the saw flat, nice and easy. You can do it on a pull stroke just to start it, and then go forward. Again, try to make it so it's sort of the same. So just to smooth this and just maybe widen it a little bit, I have a little sort of a tiny wedge here, and I'll wrap the sandpaper around it, push it carefully in at the thinnest part, and it will make its way inside, and I can go to thicker part of the wedge, just widen it a little bit, and it will give me a nice sort of a V shape. So I'll just give it a quick sand with 400 again. So it's not sharp, and do a little bit of this inside, although it's quite clean. And again, I don't want to sand too much this intersection here. I want to keep it nice and crisp. Now I can part it off a little bit more. Like so. And I forgot to clip this corner here, like so. Just to see if everything is okay, nice and clean. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And for the walnut, I'm going to use this. This is regular oil, much like pretty much any other oil. So just apply it here, the top end, with the lathe off, so I get it into that corners. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. And now I can turn on the lathe. Now I can part it off the lathe. There we go. And here we are, the first two pawns. You can see they are gradually getting bigger, or taller I should say. So we can move on to the next one. So again, I'll first true it up and get to the diameter I need. So it's this part here, and we'll see how it wants to cut. Just make a relief cut there. There we go. Okay, so that's nice and smooth. So that's nicely chewed up. Actually, a little hole here. There we go. So for the night, the height around 60-61 mil. So that should be there. And I'll set that in. Like so. And I'll make the bottom portion first. So that's the mark for the groove. Make the groove like so. Just clean this part a little bit. There we go. And around, I believe here should be okay if I leave a flat spot, or actually the diameter. And from there we can shape this so we can make the horse head. Here is dedicated spindle blank just for this. I wrap around sandpaper and tape the end here. It works great, it's super easy, cheap, and now it's a spindle sander. And what I'll do is, you saw me make this line on the knight here, on this figure, and I put a few reference line. Doesn't have to be anything specific or anything like that precise. And I'll remove all this and use this diameter of the spindle to get this nice curvature here. So we'll see how it goes, and just need to turn on the dust extractor. I'll use sort of a jig and just cut away on the bandsaw this excess, so I don't have to sand all much. So as you saw, this works super easy and great, and if I have to use any finer, I'll switch it around, but for this I'll just sand by hand to finer grit. So I'll put this back on the lathe so we can do the shaping here. Okay, so now all I have to do, and I say all that I have to do, I'll never draw like horse mane, head, whatever it's called, so I hope it won't turn out like a dog or anything like that. Let's see how it looks if I soften this a little bit, so it doesn't have like this hump here. The horse doesn't feel very well, so I'll just glue this back on. There might be like a tiny split here, although this is kind of short grain here, so and I was maybe a little bit too aggressive with the saw here, so let's fix the horse head. So I have 3 more to go. Now the horse kind of looks, it's pony head on a Mustang body, a big Mustang body. So doesn't look all that appealing, let's say, but kind of sort of reminds of the horse, of the knight, let's say, figure. So what I'll do probably is stick for it for now, and see at the end if it's like too much of a sore in the eye, then I'll remake this one. But for now I need to go inside the house, make lunch for kids, and so I'll probably turn this later. So here we are, few hours after, and I'll continue on with the bishop. So just place this one a little bit further in, since we have a longer figure to make. So just center this roughly. Again, I have to reduce the diameter a little bit, so again skew. So the bishop length that I've set is around 70 mil. I'll go slightly bigger, so 71, something like that. So somewhere around there. And first I'll make the bottom here. So again, as with other figures, I'll define where the bottom is, and then use the width of the parting tool just to mark where the groove needs to be. And again, roughly 1 mil deep, doesn't have to be much. Now the bishop will have a sort of a teardrop top, instead of like a I think traditionally it has a notch, something like that. So I'll allow myself a little extra room for the teardrop, maybe something like this. And again, this will be taper and then teardrop, maybe actually a little bit bigger, something like so. And I'll start to do the taper. Like so, and I'll start to make the teardrop. Should need a little relief cut here. And I'll see what works in terms of like proportions for the teardrop. So I'll drop the rest a little bit. So this is, yeah, a little too bulky, so I'll reduce diameter and I'll start over. But first, before that, I'll make taper one more time, like so. This will get thinner. Okay, that's looking better, and I want to finish now the taper. And let's finish the top here of the teardrop. I'll use a gouge and I'll just drop the rest, since the gouge is a little bit thicker too. I want to have, it doesn't have to be this sharp point, which I'll actually sand away a little bit, but does have to have a definition. And now finish the taper one more time, raise the rest a little bit. Nice and easy. Okay, that looks okay. It definitely is different than the pawn, which they are quite similar in shape. This part here, so the teardrop, and it's way bigger, so I'll go for that. Kind of like that. And we have the bishop done, so yeah, quite pleased with this one. Next is the queen, and again I'll put it in a little bit more in the jaws, so they're much stable here, less vibrations, and tighten it up. And for the queen, I'll go for the length, about 85 mil. So that's roughly there. Now I just need to chew it up a little bit and reduce diameter. Now the queen has a little bigger head, let's say, than the, or like reverse taper a little bit differently. So let's go for now somewhere around there. So this will be one taper like so, and then the other one like so. And let's see. So parting tool, I'll just make the relief cut like this, and this is way too big, but I need to see the proportions first. So it's not too far off, but the head here is a little too big. So I'll reduce this first. Like that, and let's move this intersection point just a little bit above, and let's see now how this looks. Again, nice clean taper. Like so. And this side. So proportionally I'm okay with this, but for the queen I want to make a dome top here, so again I'll just clean this up a little bit. So here I couldn't get with the skew all the way, so I'll use a low peel cut just to lightly finesse this part here, like so. And from this point now I can use planing cut just to refine this. And I'll probably, as with with the king, not the king, the rock. It's similar principle, so I'll just put a little groove here. It sort of distinguish the line between the two. So, and with the spindle gouge, I'll make the dome here. Nice and easy through center. There we go. And here it is, the queen, and I'm quite pleased with it. And I really like this oil on this lighter color timber like maple and ash. Just really is super nice and doesn't yellow it, so quite pleased with that. So we'll move to the final figure, and that is the king. So for the king, we need to have the sort of a cross at the very top, so I need to account for that. So I think something like this should be okay. And for the head, again, I need to allow for the like that, and the total length for the king, roughly 95 mil, give or take a few mil, doesn't have to be exact. If I'm making like an entire set, then obviously I would make a jig or a template, then which I can transfer to all of the pieces. So okay, so that's the bottom done. Now for the cross here to, let's say, 1/3 of the diameter. And clean this shoulder here, like that. Now for the head, again, this is way too big of a diameter, so reduce that as well to, let's say, for now, like this. And with parting tool, I'll go below the line. Yeah, I think below the line should be okay. Somewhere around there. So all of this now is waste wood. So watching this from the distance a little bit, so from all the angles, and actually I'm pretty close to the proportions that I like for this king figure. So I think I'll actually maybe just a little bit reduce this diameter here. That's not pleasant sound, and let's go the intersection around there. Yeah, that looks okay. There we go, and again a little groove here just to distinguish the two surfaces. little finessing. There we go. So now I can focus on the cross, and I'll have to part this down, and the top portion here. But still here, I don't want to make maybe flat, but nor I don't want to make a big curve like I did dome on the top here as with the queen. So just a little taper. Okay, so that's one side done, and I'll clean that after. So I just want to make it parallel with that as best as I can. Maybe a flush cut saw. They have extremely tiny teeth, should work extremely well for this kind of job. So I have here that little that I used on the rock, little wedge. Just put that in sandpaper, and you can sand this part. This is tiny pieces, so this goes really fast, and give it a little, how should I say this, little form, let's say. And this is the king done. So what I'll do is just sand the bottom here, and I'll show you the final results. Here on the king, I was too aggressive when I sand the bottom, and I broke off one of the wings here. What I've noticed, I shouldn't left it that long. Maybe half of that length originally. I should have clipped it away, but anyway, I broke one of the sides, so I clipped the other one as well, so they are symmetrical. Not the best idea here, but it is what it is. For now, this is okay. This is, like I said, first ever that I did, and I only made one practice with the pawn here. So all of these are first time ever made. So I'm actually quite happy. So you can see the pawn here, you know, like a regular pawn, nothing special to it, but all of these sort of cone taper design goes through all of them. So the rock here as well, with the castle type top here, kind of looks cool, and the knight here with weird looking head and the body. But you know, actually, again, I'm not the grandmaster at this, but actually it does kind of feel good in hands when you pick it up like so. The bishop here, again, really simple, but what I found actually about these, you still recognize, although it's very simplified design, you still recognize what it is. So that's actually, I'm quite proud of that. So one thing that I would change if I made a set, and I would make more of these obviously and play around a little bit more about the design, but I would maybe thin it down the queen here a little bit. So sort of they are now stand equally, only the top here is higher, but maybe that should have been like that, not sure. Again, I'm not a grandmaster, so I don't know these things. The queen is a really simple one. If you're just, you know, like starting out with turning, these are great exercise, and if you like to play chess as well, so you can make your own custom figures. So, and the king here. So I still have to oil the bottom, but again, they're pretty much finished, and I'm actually quite proud of these. Not too bad looking for the first time. So please don't forget to watch Richard, Sam and Mike's version as well. They'll do much better job than I did here. And again, thank you for supporting 4Ways. It means a lot to us, and thank you for the support. And yeah, see you in the next video.